Hello and welcome to the Knit Girls. This is episode 371. I'm Laura, also known as Lala.
I am Laura. I'm not.
Yes! You were looking at me the whole time like I was questioning like if I was saying it right because I was like, maybe I'm messing this up. Yes!
Brain just stopped working. I'm sitting with Laura. But I'm Leslie, also known as You Don't Call Me Les.
That's
the
amazing.
second time I've done that live, I think.
I think it's been more than that. Maybe not.
Maybe. Anyhow, today is November the 6th, Monday, 2017.
It is. Is it Veterans Day? It's
No, that's the 11th.
Day? Okay. So
Veterans Day is the 11th.
today must be Election Day.
That's on Tuesday.
That's tomorrow then. There we go.
Election Day is always the first Tuesday of November. I
I don't think we even have local elections going on here.
haven't
tomorrow.
heard of anything.
I haven't
but
seen any signs.
I also don't tune into the political stuff. I'm winding yarn, but it's about to be done, so...
I'll go first.
Yes, you go ahead.
I am knitting on Always Cowl, so it's ALL hyphen ways, and it is a pattern by Laura Nelkin, and I chose it because it's got a cool beaded motif in it. So let me get this down.
And when going to link it, she missed a L.
So to link it in the show notes, I highlighted Always Cow, and it brought up a lot of butchering things. So we did not link those. You're welcome.
All the ways to butcher a cow.
But this is really, really cool. I want to kind of spread it out. I'm going to block it so that you really get to see that, because I think that's pretty amazing. You see it.
I like the color you chose.
Thank you.
I would never have chosen that busy of a color for a cowl, but I like the way it looks.
Thanks. So it is, well, you know, the pattern, I don't know if you know this. Here's the wrong side, which is kind of cool looking too. The pattern uses a speckled yarn, like a Mrs. Crosby. It was a kit. So that's where I got the busyness from.
Okay.
I was like, Laura Nell can rock that. I totally can rock that. So it does...
I'll look like 5'1" of Laura Nelkin.
This big.
Yeah. Adorable and super nice, great teacher, but she is teeny tiny.
She is. I think all the beading teachers, like the famous beading teachers, are teeny, like Sylvia
Harding.
Harding's teeny tiny too. Like when I took a picture with her, I had to be like, because I took a class with her at DFW a couple years ago. But yeah, I'm totally digging it. It does have this bias aspect going on, so it's not like a smooth.
And it's not intended to sit up straight. Like, it's got this kind of sort of sideways slouch to it.
It does. And I'm changing the pattern. Ooh, as I drop stitches. I thought for a second I had spilled my Coke, and I was like, because I heard that noise, that fizzy kind of noise. So the pattern has you, because y'all know I can't just leave things be. The pattern has you do this garter stitch at the bottom, and then stockinette, and then garter stitch again, and you just keep repeating this bit of garter stitch until you get to the height that you want. But I can't leave things alone. So when I strung on my beads, I just kept stringing until I'd strung the entire packet, which was 195 beads. I'm also doing the larger size of this cowl. Larger circumference-wise, not height-wise. The shorter one, circumference-wise, actually has more beads on it because it's taller. And you just use 4 beads per row. So the height of... So anyway, I just strung the whole packet of beads because I didn't feel like counting. And it ended up being like 195 beads, which is not divisible by 4, FYI.
Nope.
But I had extra beads just in case. You know, it's good to have extra beads on there just in case. So I am repeating the stockinette section, and then I'm going to do the garter section again. So instead of just having a large bit of garter, like that much garter, I'm doing that stockinette because I wanted a little bit more height to it, and stockinette grows height-wise a little bit more than garter. Because my ideal cowl is around 6 inches wide. And I was afraid if I just kept doing the garter, it would be around 4 inches wide. So it's going to be pretty slouchy. It's on a 24-inch circular needle from Signature. They were just laying there, so it was what I had available. So it is at least 24 inches. I would say it's probably wider than that. So it'll be more of a slouchy piece. It'll be good with, like, the dresses that I wear that are more... so I can still have, like, a little neckline. And, of course, the beads will make it slouchy as well. So hopefully this will be done in the next day or so. It's a really easy, simple knit. Like, once you get the rhythm down, you can go for it. If you don't put 3 beads instead of 2 in a row. I did that.
You also changed the cast on, didn't you?
Yes. Leslie was with me when I was casting on. So the first time I knit this, I did not read directions well. And I thought it was just repeat the last row. So there's a setup row, then row 1, then row 2. And I thought it was saying repeat row 2 4 more times. And then I was like, well, that doesn't get me 8. That gets me 6. What am I missing? I had to repeat rows 1 and 2. So I ripped it all out, and I had originally done the cast on that it called for, which was a lace cast on, but my lace cast on, or no, it was a knitted cast on. My knitted cast on was getting like these huge loops at the bottom, which I thought looked kind of sloppy, so I went back to my long tail cast on. Because I just think it looks nice and neat. And it won't match the bind off, but I'm okay with that. So, yeah. I just have 2 more rows after this in the stockinette, and then I have around 10 rows of garter, and then I will be done with this. So not too bad. I could probably finish it tonight. I am using a whole skein of yarn. This pattern only calls for 100 yards, so I'm sure I'm using more than 100 yards, but I had a whole skein of this really pretty old rusted chair in the rainbow trout colorway. And the beads make it super rainbow trouty too. Let me do this. That is not what I was anticipating. There we go. So that's kind of what they look like together. So yeah, I'm enjoying it, and it's living in a fat squirrel bag. A fat squirrel Halloween bag. Yes! Because it will forever be Halloween in my heart. I mean, it's kind of more of a fall bag. It does have, like, ravens and cats.
Who cares if it's a Halloween bag and it's after Halloween?
No, I'm fine with it. It makes me happy regardless. I don't have Thanksgiving bags because Thanksgiving is not a huge holiday in my life. Is it a huge holiday in your life? Okay.
None of the holidays are huge holidays in my life.
Halloween is a huge holiday in my life. I'm still wearing a candy corn shirt too, which you can't see. It is what it is. It's underneath my Steelers.
Yeah, it's like 80 degrees up here, and she's wearing a sweatshirt. No, it's not.
It's like 70.
As far as what's on the needles for me, is that it for you?
Yep.
Okay.
That's it.
So, while Laura was talking, I cast on, brand new.
What kind of cast on did you use?
Twisted German. That's what I use for all my...
it is a stretchy cast on.
It's not what I use for all of my top-down ribbing socks. If I'm doing a 2x2 rib, that's what I use. If I'm doing a...
1x1?
A 1x1, I use a tubular.
You're so fancy.
I just like the stretch of it. So, our sort of friends striping knit-along thing that we're doing... This month is Lynn's choice, and the theme is any holiday-themed yarn or Christmas-themed.
Also, Amy Florence is doing a Christmas yarn knit-along, so you could double dip.
I could. But
she's pretty amazing.
I'll say that I'm knitting along with Amy, but I will not enter for prizes because does not need prizes. More chances for you guys. But I cast on from Post Yarn, which is the yarn that Simply Sock Yarn Company produces. And this is the Holiday Florida colorway. I don't know if that's actually holiday themed, but I'm going with it.
Yeah, it totally is.
Because they
put it out at Christmas time.
I'm not a big Christmas
So
person?
what they did with these is they did different towns that had like Santa Claus wherever.
Oh, okay.
And so it's the towns that are named after holidays.
So I've knit with this yarn before. This is a 75% Cordale versus Merino and 25% nylon. They're really hard wearing socks. So I just cast on for a 72 stitch sock. This is the yarn.
Do you want to explain the difference between Merino and Cordale?
Do you want to explain the difference between Merino and Cordale? Like, Merino I know is a shorter staple. It's considered a finer wool.
Mm-hmm.
Cordale is a longer staple.
Yeah. It's a medium staple wool.
Right. I enjoy spinning Cordale.
Yeah. Less of a fine crimp. Merino has a real fine crimp. So it should wear better because
it's a little grabbier when you're spinning it.
I feel like Cordales are a cross between Merino and something else.
Cormo? Maybe?
I'm gonna look it up. You do your thing. I'm gonna do my thing.
So aside from that, and this is just for our little friend thing, I think that Laura and I are going to get together and make up a list for next year, just for silly stuff. Maybe we'll do prizes, maybe we won't. I don't know, but we'll get together a list for those of you guys who want to participate next year. But it'll be very low stress, not like Stash Dash where it's
more like how we did with the spin all the things.
Yeah.
Type thing.
So aside from that, I have got this pattern that I started following this designer, Suzanne Summer, sorry. And actually have no idea where she's from. Let's see. Somewhere overseas. A.T. Let's see. Austria. So she's from Austria. And she does a lot of brioche patterns. And she put out this shrug, which is like a big cardigan with interesting sleeves mixed with a shawl. It's kind of cool. It's called the, what did we say? Shisui shrug. And it is knit in garter and brioche. The example pattern is in a nice green. I did not even realize that I subconsciously picked a yarn that almost matched that. It's a fingering weight shrug. Although I really think it's more of a cardigan than a shrug.
I think it's like a shawl with sleeves.
Yeah. And it only goes up to an XL in size, but it's got so much positive ease that I'm not really concerned about it. I typically do a 2X for comfortable positive ease, but this isn't meant to close, so I think it'll be fine.
Are you ready for Cordale?
Sure.
So Cordales were developed in Australia by a guy whose last name was Little, James Little, and he crossed Lincolns, which are super long wool, and Leicesters, which are also very long wool, with Merinos.
So it's Lincoln,
and Leicester with Merinos.
With Merino. So
it's a reliable multi-purpose fiber that can be a pleasure to spin, knit, or weave.
It's like a woolly
medium
three-way.
soft, has a nice long staple, some luster, and well-defined, even crimp. But that means it's got a lot of loft and elasticity. I am reading the Fleece and Fiber source book, which I happen to have on my phone.
See, this is the kind of thing, like, Laura could sit in a lecture about this for 4 hours.
Oh, yeah, easily.
And 5 minutes in, I'm like, don't care. Not because it's not interesting or a worthy thing to study. It just doesn't hold my interest. Like, I know if I enjoy spinning or knitting with it, and nothing else is really that important in that regard to me.
Most of the sheepgrin and the Falklands in South America are Cordales.
Put your phone away.
Wow, they can weigh up to 20 pounds of fleece. Like their fleeces can be up to 20 pounds.
I wonder if it's just because they produce more, or it holds more lanolin, or...
I don't know.
Because lanolin is heavy, like when it's
Merinos
collected
have
in a fleece.
lots of lanolin.
So anyhow...
You were talking about your shrug thing.
This is the Shisui shrug. And we did both go to pronunciation websites and listen to somebody with an Australian
Leslie
accent.
did. I just sat here
She was
and was
here,
like...
so I'm including her.
Present.
But I wanted to swatch both for color combination and because I've not knit a garment in brioche before, so I wasn't sure how
And you should swatch for garments anyways.
gauge would affect. Well, yes, but if you already sort of know a shrug like this.
And you should swatch for garments anyway.
So I had two skeins. Actually, I have two skeins. What I thought I was going to knit it out of was Leading Men Fiber Arts, The Great Sweater Debate. Plus an alternate color.
That's right. How did that not happen?
I couldn't find that, and I could find this. So I reached out to Steve. I texted him and asked him to dye up some contrast colors for that.
That he thought would look good with Great Sweater Debate?
Yes, and he gave me
and
some
he gave
selections.
You some gorgeous ones, and then you used them with
he
something
didn't give
else.
them. He invoiced me, and I paid him, and then he
Yeah.
provided them to me. And then I was going through a bin downstairs and found two skeins of King Max, which was a colorway of the month earlier in the summer.
Wild things are.
Yeah, it's where the wild things are.
Okay, this makes so much more sense then, because I was curious as to why Steve chose those colors to go with this. But now it makes sense, because you told him something else.
She says that because when I brought out my swatch earlier, wow, this camera is like super dark.
Oh, it got super dark.
Because I held this up for focus and it went crazy. Wake back up, camera. It will eventually. Anyhow, so I texted him and he sent me all these colors. Well, he linked me to all these colors. Jeez Louise, what's wrong with our camera? Okay, I'm going to stop it and we'll come right back. That's better. Sorry, that was crazy. It's like we were recording in the dark. So he sent me links to all these colors. Steve has actually got like a page on his site with all his colors listed and shown, which is great.
Oh yeah,
and I wish all dyers did that. So he sent me to all these, and I don't remember what they're all called. Sorry. I know that one's Lightning Bug, and that's it. That's all I remember.
Oh, the story keeps getting better and better. Okay.
So these don't actually go with this as well as I would like, which is no fault of Steve's because this is not the color I told him
that you were trying to
that
match
I was
things
trying to
with.
match things off. And so when I pulled this out earlier, I could see on Laura's face like, how do I tell her that's hideous without hurting her feelings because that's hideous. So what
the top one's not hideous.
I swatched with these colors, and because of the way that the garment is constructed, it's like alternating sections within the same row of garter and brioche. So it's like inverted V's with brioche, garter, brioche, garter, brioche. So I swatched with all 5 colors.
It's a lovely size swatch.
So it's large. And this is the last one that I did.
That top one is the one that I like the best.
This top one with the green.
It's like a teal.
The others just aren't in the same like brightness or saturation or something. Gwen would be able to answer this.
Or go with that color palette at all.
There's a technical term for it. Don't have the same depth of something or other. But I do actually think this green works with it pretty well. Then we've got the purple.
I tried to get her to use brown,
The
but
bright
I was
green.
overruled.
Well, I don't want to knit with brown. That's so boring.
But you're knitting with the other colors. It's not like you're truly knitting with brown. This is the girl with lots of bright colors and beads in her hands.
And then this is the other side where, I don't know.
A forest green would look nice too. So you need 2 contrast colors, really.
Yeah, but the other contrast color you only need for the I-cord edging along the bottom. It's a negligible amount, like 50 yards or something.
But it still has to look nice with the colors that you've chosen.
But much easier to acquire going through the stash. So, I don't know. I kind of feel like I swatched in 5 colors for nothing. But, again, that is kind of my fault because I did do the wrong color.
Maybe you should find the great sweater debate.
It's in here somewhere.
And then you can just hold those colors up next to it. Let's see.
I feel like the purple would do well with great sweater debate.
Yes, purple or a red.
Yeah, I didn't get a red. I got a pink. But I don't think the pink is going to work. I do still really like this green. This dark teal-ish color.
You could use a dark gray for the contrast.
So, maybe I'll go with that one. I don't know. You guys tell me what you think about how hideous my swatch is. And this is actually, I grabbed this out of my bag of bags. This is like a retro Pitaloop bag. I'm pretty sure that I put myself on the wait list for this bag while we were at Spring Fling #1. Because that was when she had like a 40 or 50 person wait list.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure that's what this bag was.
Yep.
So.
Could be. Nice bags.
I can put this in here. I wanted to start on this. In reality, I can't because I've still got to get the contrast color dyed up by Steve.
Yeah.
So it's not like I can start anyway.
Well, you can start with a little bit that you have left and let him know which color you want.
Anyway, that's...
Now you're going to lose your mojo on this project.
I know, but it is what it is. Oh my gosh, it's so warm.
Okay.
I have a finished object, but you have finished objects too, so why don't you go?
Oh, okay. So I have 2 finished objects. They're both very small finished objects because I was trying to get things done for House Cup last week. So all the points. This was actually for this week. This is a little hat out of hand spun. This is Knit Spin Farm hand spun. That had just a tad bit of leftover, enough to knit a baby hat. So this is just a baby hat, just stocking out. I think I cast on 60 stitches on size whatever was available needles. That's terrible. Maybe 6s.
Sometimes you just got to grab the mojo when you got it. I mean,
it was just the smallest size of 12-inch that I had. So I just knit around at a basketball game the other night, and then when I got up towards the top, when I knew I had very little yarn left, I started the decreases, because with baby hats you can always roll them up a little bit too. So that is that. I had to restock because I gave 2 baby knits away to a coworker last week. So I need a little bit of restock. And then I finished my yoked cardigan. It's so wee. This is out of Wool of the Indies Superwash. This is the 0 to 3 month size.
Have you made this before?
Yep.
I thought so.
I made this out of Encore several years ago. And it is a cute, fast little knit.
Yeah.
And the buttons are from Wildflower Button Studio, and I still have like 4 more of those left.
I do like that sort of like robin's egg blue with
Yeah.
the gray. I think that looks nice.
I really wanted red, but it was 10 o'clock at night on Halloween, and my choices were very limited in my button stash.
She had to get it done so she could post and get points.
I had to sew on buttons too, which is not my forte. But I love these buttons a lot.
Good choice.
Yeah, they've got little hearts imprinted on them. And I could actually use a darning needle, one of my small darning needles, and sew them on. So
that made you hate life a little less.
Yeah, made me hate life a little bit less. So that's going in the gift box for the next shower. I've already been told by another pregnant coworker that she is having a little girl, but she wants baby socks. She saw me knitting my Wonder Woman socks, and she's like, could you knit several pairs in pink? So.
Wow. Do you like this coworker?
Yeah, no, she's fine. Glowing endorsements. She's fine. I will probably, but she wants baby socks, so I'll probably knit a pair of baby socks and matching hat, and then done. She's not due till March, maybe. I got time on that one.
You could do some little leggings, some little, like,
leg warmers?
Yeah, leg warmers.
I could. It's totally feasible. I have lots of
because those seem
leftovers.
Very practical for, like, you know, you don't have to take them on and off when you change diapers.
Oh, yeah, definitely.
They can keep the baby's legs warm.
Yeah. No, I've knit baby leg warmers before. They are very practical. More practical than baby socks, I feel like. I mean, it is what it is. If you have babies and want to weigh in on the baby sock versus leg warmer debate, please feel free to.
I'm always interested in people who got that practical experience.
Yes, because none here. I just knit what people tell me.
Well, I mean, I do have practical experience of a baby, but I wasn't a crafter really at that point, so I didn't have...
And this is a first-time mom, so she doesn't have opinions. Mm-hmm. I will tell you, my other coworker that I gave her a pumpkin hat and the little blue and white Lisa Chemerly, what is that thing called? It's the little girls, like, shrug thing. You knit one, too.
Oh, Ensure Shawl?
Yes. I gave her that and a pumpkin hat, and I had a thank you in my box the next day.
That's good manners.
It's very good manners. It's very sweet. So, anyway. And that was her first kiddo I think that's her first kiddo ever. Anyway, you vaguely saw her at McAllister's the one day.
Oh, okay.
I made Leslie go to a school function with me.
It's okay. I saw people I actually grew up with. So.
Yeah, so she grew up with one of my parents at my school.
Yeah, we worked together for several years after that, so it was nice catching up with him. And he has lovely daughters.
Yes, they are very nice. And they're going to Washington, D.C. with our youth and government. That's what they were fundraising for. So anyway, that is all I have finished are those 2 items.
Oh, okay.
But you have finished items as well.
I do. I have a pair of socks.
Oh, no, that's totally not everything that I have finished. Okay. I have a pair of socks, too.
Go for it.
They got hidden somewhere. Where did they go? Oh, here they are.
Do you need?
No, I brought my own sock blockers for once. I finished my Wonder Woman socks.
Yay.
Ta-da! Random Desert Vista Dye Works in the Wonder Woman colorway. They were knit from the top down using size 0 needles. And these are for my mom for Christmas.
Mama little man.
So 1 pair done. I made my Christmas list this week.
You're so organized.
Well, when you want to craft 18 things and it's November, you got to get it together.
Yeah, I was just thinking today, like, what I was going to make for my coworkers this year. Because, like, last year I made, like,
those little ornaments.
24 of those little hat ornaments.
Yeah.
And the hats themselves didn't take too long to do. Actually, making the little boxes for them took longer than that. But, why does this feel so short? This went over no problem.
Uh-oh.
I'm gonna be pissed.
Yep.
No. Wait. This here. Something's wrong.
Something's super wrong.
Okay, so after the heel, there's 1, 2, 3, 4 gray. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 gray. Mother cracker. So I didn't finish. I did finish socks, but one of them's a size 9.5, and one of them's probably about an 8.
But
I thought that went too fast.
So you can rip out from the toe and just rip back a little bit.
That's a whole stripe section that I missed. That's like an inch and a half. Yeah, that's irritating, but fixable. But irritating.
Yeah, no, it's super fixable.
So I kind of finished a pair of socks.
Hopefully you didn't get rid of your extra yarn.
No, it's still in there.
Okay.
Like I can
Oh, pudding.
Maybe if I knew somebody who lost their toes on one of their feet, that would work. But I do not.
You can send them to Mike.
Well, but his feet are the same size, even though one of them's not real. They're still the same size.
But he wouldn't see the other, like, he wouldn't feel the other one right around weird, like...
One of our girlfriend's husband lost his foot when he was young, teenage young, and so now he has a prosthetic, which she likes to hide and play tricks on him, which I would totally do. Totally do. Like, oh, you're late cleaning the cat litter. Guess where your foot is? But
Michael was super late for, like, multiple times.
Yeah. It would be a motivator. Or something.
Or something.
Anyway, that's all I got for that. For finished objects. So I guess you'll be seeing that again next week when I actually finish them.
Aww. You're spinning, though.
I do. But I'd like to finish this row. Can you talk about spinning?
I can. So I finished one of my spins. I did not finish the other one, unfortunately, which made me sad. Because I only got 5 classes in for House Cup. But this is, not Into the World. This is, Southern Cross Fiber, Cordale. Cordale's coming up. Lots tonight. And the Splendor colorway, it was 4 ounces. I think it was 100 grams, which is a little bit less than 4 ounces. And it is in the Splendor colorway, which is a really pretty folly colorway. And it is 210 yards of a 2-ply. It was both spun and plied on my Ladybug. So yeah, I'm happy with it. I don't know what it's going to become. It might become mittens. I think it'd be a good mitten yarn. And it was just spun like end to end. So
no splitting for fractal or anything.
No splitting. Nope, no splitting for fractal.
I started a new spin. I don't know if you remember, and I can't remember which event it was that we went to, where Unplanned Peacock was there, and I got a...
It wasn't the Memorial Day one.
Dixon?
Yep.
I got a pack of 6 ounces of silk in different sort of rainbowish colors.
Yeah.
So I started that. I've gotten through one of the ounces. And,
Are you enjoying spinning the silk?
I mean, I'm not going for, like, Fleegle thin. But
Fleegle is someone who does supported spindling. She's known for her supported spindling and, like, very fine cobweb lace weight yarn.
Yeah, she spins masterfully. Sadly, I cannot make that same claim.
I think it would be different if you had it supported spindle-wise.
Well, and I'm not really trying either,
Yeah.
So I'm certain that makes a difference.
I'm sure that makes a difference.
Sorry, I'm trying to pick out a Kitchener, and it's not going well.
Would you like me to work on it?
It's alright. So, I did finish. I took 2 Knit Spin Farm bats. Both were just mixed of all kinds of stuff.
They look like they're Halloween colorways, though.
One of them is Witches and Pumpkins, and the other one was browns and yellows and whites, and it was just one of a kind. Just like you. That's what the tag said. And it's very dense. It's like 6 ounces and 266 yards. So it's very dense.
Yeah.
The way that I spun it. It has not had its bath yet, so it hasn't bloomed. But it's...
So you spun that worsted versus woolen.
Yeah, I did. It had all sorts of like sari
Silk,
and
yeah. I love sari silk.
sparkle and bits and bobs of silk in it, so lots of different colors.
You plied it tight, too.
Yeah. I made an effort to ply it tighter than I usually do. Because I usually ply... It looks underplied, usually, when I do.
This is not, for
sure.
There's lots of twists in there.
So this is what it looks like. It's 266 yards. Although I'll probably lose a little bit of that when it washes, so probably closer to 250. And I enjoyed spinning it. I didn't make any special effort to spin it thick or thin or anything. But I enjoyed spinning it.
Good.
No idea what I'll do with it. It'll go into the stash until I decide.
You can make leg warmers for you. Boot toppers.
I could, but probably won't. I was actually thinking I might end up making a foolproof, but
Yeah.
Even if I do, it's not as bright as I would like.
Yeah, you would have to spend more too, I think.
Or do gauge math, which is not my favorite thing to do. And it would be shorter anyway, because 266 yards is not a lot.
No.
But anyhow, that's what I got. It needs to be washed, but I just wound it off and counted yardage before
slippers.
Laura got here. It would be good for slippers. And it was a lot of fun. I am looking at Interweave had this article and spin-off earlier this year. It was winter 2017, so I think it was early this year. About spinning different braids together.
Doing mashups.
Yeah. And I'm thinking about doing that for next year. I'll try to remember to link the article in the show notes, or to where you can find the article. The article's actually in Spinoff, so I don't know if it's available without the actual magazine. But I know apparently there was a podcaster who did this last year, because they did it as like in Along in April or earlier this year. I know there was a podcaster who did this and walked through how she split everything. So I need to find that podcast and just watch it to see how she did it. But
the Weasley sisters do that a lot on their stuff.
Do they show how they choose colors and stuff?
Yeah, usually. I mean, that would be a good suggestion for them. If they don't, I know that they do like Instagram live videos and stuff.
Haven't been on Instagram since SSK, maybe before then. Not because there's anything necessarily wrong with it. I've just tried to unplug from social media as much as possible. And I find I have a lot more time that way. So,
yep.
What else? I do have other quote-unquote finished objects, but they're edible. You need to get some before you leave. So, yesterday...
You need to discuss that, yeah. Maybe you should do that for your coworkers for Christmas.
Maybe. I'd have to see how they hold up over time, though. Like, through shipping. But, yeah, maybe. Although if somebody has a nut allergy, that wouldn't work. So, I've been watching a lot of Great British Bake Off. My husband has finally given into the badgering and gotten all the seasons for us. And Laura and I together have been watching a lot of it.
Yep. And there's a new show on that someone else recommended on our boards.
It's a Netflix original.
Yeah, it's a Netflix original, and it's British, and it's baking. It's not baking, it's cooking. It's got a lot of meat aspects to it, which
But it's more about home cooking, and so it's these fancy chefs who travel around to different, or at least the one I looked at.
Okay.
Was they travel around to different people's homes and have them cook for them, and they talk about, how cooking as a family brings people together and all that sort of thing.
Cute.
So I watched like the trailer blurb for it, but I haven't actually watched the episode. But I've been watching a lot of Great British Baking Show.
There's a Canadian version too that we should see if we can get us.
Yeah.
And the Great British Sewing Bee.
Yeah, that's true.
All the British shows.
And it's always funny, like, when you see a reality show that's based in Britain, because everybody's so nice to each other.
That's truth.
Like...
As a whole, yeah.
Somebody else wins, and they're like, yay, you! I'm so happy for you! You did such a great job! You're gonna do us proud!
Or do you need help? I've got a couple minutes free.
You know, it's a very different culture, which I think is great. But I've been watching a lot of Great British Baking Show, and Bake Off, sorry, the Great British Bake Off. And they keep baking macarons, French macarons, which are kind of like super fancy Oreos. They are a cookie, and they're sweet, and there's 2 separate wafers, and it's usually filled with like a buttercream or a jam or a ganache or something like that. And I've been watching it and sort of obsessing for the past week about wanting to try to make macaron. I just like saying the word macaron. And I finally made them on Sunday after watching several videos from lots of different people about tips and tricks and all that.
I wonder if there's a Craftsy class on it.
Probably.
Because, you know, now Craftsy does that, like, unlimited streaming thing.
Craftsy Unlimited's like $15 a month or something. Or at least it is right now. But I think you can get a free 2-week trial.
Yeah.
But it involved me trying to find almond flour, which is not as easy as I had thought it would be.
Oh.
I actually thought I was going to have to buy a grinder and almonds. And then at Target, of all places, had almond flour. I couldn't find it at Kroger that had every kind of flour in the world.
Bet you Aldi's has it.
But I found it. It's expensive, though. It's like $10 for a 2-pound bag of it. It's crazy.
I bet you can find it cheaper on the internet.
But, so I did make macaron, and they turned out really well. Like, I watched the Mary Berry one where she talks about how they're perfect if they have the little feet and they rise a certain way, and mine had the little feet.
Oh,
and
did
then
you get very excited?
I was very excited. I was like, I did it right. And then I made chocolate ganache, which is so much easier than it sounds. Here's how you make ganache. Chop up chocolate, add a cup of just boiling cream, stir. You have made ganache.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, so much easier than it sounds. And that turned out really well. And then I also made meringue, like little meringue cookies.
Yeah, Mom makes those.
Which are a little less chewy and more crunchy than I was going for, but they still turned out good.
I think if you lower your heat on your oven and bake it for longer, like 3 hours, they say they get chewier the longer they're in the oven. I just watched that episode today.
Okay, because I did an hour and a half at like 225
The Great
or
British
something.
Bake Off people did like 3 hours.
Oh, okay. Yeah, maybe that was why.
But they were doing like big sheets, like
the
is it semifinals, quarterfinals?
Quarterfinal, then semi.
Semi, they had to do sculptures out of that.
Oh, okay. Yeah, no, it was... The meringue were easy, because you could drop them by the spoonful, or you can use a piping bag. I used a piping bag just because I wanted to. And
it's just egg whites and sugar, right?
Mm-hmm.
And you wait till when you put your beaters up, that it like...
Soft peaks. Well... hard peaks, actually.
Well, it trails off it doesn't really trail off the beaters. Does that make sense?
Yeah, that's a stiff peak.
Yeah.
I think. That's the way I did it. Maybe I did it wrong. I have no idea.
But they turned out okay.
They did. And the hardest part of it was trying to make all the macarons the same size.
Oh.
Like, I even printed out a template. Did you mess up?
I did, but that's okay. I can fix it.
I even printed out a template, but I'm still, like, trying to learn how much pressure makes what happen out of the piping bag. So, anyway, I did a lot of cooking yesterday.
I cannot fix that, though. Stop dropping stitches.
Do you need help?
No, I got it. Thank you, though. All right, got it.
I did a lot of cooking yesterday, and that's pretty much all I did yesterday, cooking.
That's fun.
And dirtied up the kitchen.
Oh.
And put everything into the magic sink, where somehow things get clean in the magic sink. So I tease Kobe about that, because...
Kobe is the magic sink elf.
Yeah. Well, no, he fills the magic sink.
Oh. But he does not. I thought his job was one of his jobs was to put stuff in the dishwasher.
Nope.
Oh. Sorry.
One of his jobs was to unload the dishwasher until it got to the point where I could find nothing.
Yeah.
Like, nothing. Like, my big whisk is permanently missing. Nobody's seen it. So, that was fun, trying to whisk with this tiny this little wee whisk I got in a kit for, like, 5 years ago. The whisk is like this big. It's so small. But I
have like 4 of those for hot cocoa because they're amazing for hot cocoa.
Yeah, they're perfect for like a coffee cup size.
Yeah, for everything else, not so much.
Yeah. So that was super good. I didn't know until I was trying to whisk. Like, not something I checked.
We'll have to take you to the kitchen store and get you another big whisk.
Let's see. Books. I finished the Lazy Girl's Guide to Magic which is a 3-book series. I don't know if there's more books in the series or not. The third one did have ghosts. Thank you guys who warned me. It's very considerate.
It was.
But these were like wisecracking, smart ass ghosts.
They weren't like the romantic leads.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's funny because Laura told me that people, mentioned that it had ghosts, and I said, yeah, I saw that. And her first question was, did they have sex? And I looked at her like she was crazy, and she said, oh, it's a valid question.
That's a valid question. That happens sometimes.
I don't read books with ghosts usually, so.
Yeah.
Anyway, I finished that. It was good. It's on Kindle Unlimited.
The Cressley Coles have ghosts that have sex.
I listened to The Sea King, C-S-E-A King, by C.L. Wilson, which is the second in that series.
Finally. Jeez Louise. It took like 4 years to
It was supposed to be
out
last summer, I think, was the original release date or something. I don't know.
It's forever.
The first book in the series is called The Winter King. It's a long fantasy. It does have some explicit content.
It's like a romantic fantasy.
Yeah. But it is well developed, at least.
Yeah.
Like, it's not your typical fluff.
Yeah.
And I enjoyed the book. It's left it open for more in the future. I am still listening to My Dad Wrote a Porno, which is a podcast. I only have 3 episodes left.
Oh my goodness.
But I was laughing so hard on my way home and chewing gum that I almost choked.
Oh.
Like, I could feel the gum entering my airway. So funny. So if any of you guys have listened to it and have recommendations for anything kind of similar along that same vein, I would appreciate your recommendations. However, I am not interested in Serial or This American Life. The narrators of those two, for some reason, just make me feel stabby. I do not know why. It's something in their voice.
Louise likes Serial.
Yeah, Michael listened to it.
She likes some other ones too. Like there's other crime drama ones along those veins.
It's not that I'm necessarily against crime, like that sort of story. It's just something about the
that
cadence of their voice. Like they pause in these weird places, and it just makes me want to throttle them. So,
gotcha.
I could never be in the same room when Michael is listening to Serial. I just can't do it. So anyway. I've been talking for like an hour. What have you been reading?
I've been reading a series of 3 like period romances, the like Great Britain ballroom type romances, called Wicked Deceptions by Joanna Shoup, I think is her name. Ilana Andrews recommended them on Twitter.
Oh, okay.
So I, my local library had number 1 and number 3, but not number 2. So I purchased number 2. But they were really good. I liked them a lot. I also read The Most Ridiculous Thing Ever. Yeah,
Laura sent me this picture, which is let me pull it up for you. We were trying to get the thing to work so that we could show you our screen, and I fought with it for like half an hour and could not make it work. And
this is the most ridiculous.
Laura was like, okay, I got stuff to do, come on.
Well, that's true. So...
Let me read you the...
Why don't you show the picture first? Are you going to read the description first?
No, I'll show the picture first. This is by R.J. Blaine.
And it's part of a series, so then I went back and read the first one after I read this one, because they make me giggle.
So, most of you are saying, okay, hot guy, whatever.
With an alpaca.
But, yes, let me draw your attention.
Which is what caught my attention and made me laugh really, really hard. So...
Yeah, called Hoofing It, and the book description... All Shane wanted was to get away from the wreckage of his career for a while. He picked New York City to provide him with a distraction from his early, unwanted retirement from the police force. New York City delivered, distracting him with 3 corpses and a miniature llama with a spitting problem and an attitude.
It's actually an alpaca. They go into that later.
If he wants to return to a normal life, he'll have to face off against a sex trafficking ring targeting the woman of his dreams, ancient vampires, murderous criminals, his parents, and an FBI agent with a hidden agenda. Some days it isn't easy being an ex-cop. Warning. This novel...
warnings. They're the best.
This novel contains excessive humor, action, excitement, adventure, magic, romance, and bodies. Proceed with caution.
So basically, it's and I love how the description of the series is a magical romantic comedy with a body count.
Yeah.
It's number 2. So he rescues a family from a burning car. He's a traffic officer and loses an eye in the proceeds, and so he is whatever in the process. There we go. And so, like, I can make this book any more crazy. And so he has a forced retirement that's happening. There's a discrimination suit going on because he is the daughter or the son of a werewolf and a witch. And so there's all this discrimination in Chicago against werewolves, and so he goes to New York City to get away. And as he's walking down the street through Times Square, a body falls off a roof and it shatters through a windshield, but it was a cheap windshield that wasn't made with the right glass. It was made from, like, real glass. So it kills both people inside. And he finds this little alpaca in the back seat, duct taped to the back seat. And so the traffic cop that comes is like, we've got to put it down because the alpaca keeps spitting on them. And so he's like, oh, I'll take it for the minimum of 20 days and then I'll make sure it gets somewhere else. So he drives to his parents' house in the middle of nowhere. I can't even remember what state.
It's not important.
Yeah, it's not important because she's a knitter. And also, like I said, a witch, and his father is a werewolf. And what it turns out is this sex trafficking ring is turning the women that they're trafficking into alpacas through magic.
Like you do.
Like you do. And so that comes out later. But it's funny.
So
it's
does the
funny.
witch make the llama not a llama anymore?
No. He gets shot and his alpaca is stolen from him and taken to a local club. And his werewolf father tracks them down. I'm giving away all the funny bits. No, I'm done.
Okay.
It is very funny. And it's definitely worth the, like, $2.99 purchase price. I don't know that it's worth the time to read it. $2.99 purchase price for sure. That was funny. And the first one has a woman who can work with hazardous materials like a gorgon bile. And random other things, and so, but she deals with them by transforming him into a unicorn that can spit fire.
Okay.
So it's very weird, but very funny.
So there's no real, like, structure or rules to this world.
No.
Anything goes.
I'm pretty sure anything can happen.
Well, alright then.
But it's very funny. It's got the same sense of humor, kind of, as Lightning Struck Heart. Not as well written.
Oh, the third, and that comes out this month.
Ooh, that's exciting.
So I'm rereading Destiny of Dragons.
That's very exciting.
But I wish Amazon would let you pre-order. It does not.
Ooh, not yet.
No.
Yeah, they don't like you to pre-order his books in general, I feel like.
Yeah. I don't know why, but...
Yeah. Alright, so that's what I've been reading. There's 2 very different books. Types of books. We're still accepting vendor signups through... Today?
So by the time this episode goes live, we're not accepting them anymore.
And we will make a decision this weekend. I am leaving on Thursday to go to Disney for the Ross Farms retreat, which is super exciting. And I am very excited about that. That's going to be awesome. I cannot wait to get on a plane and go. I have the book fair at my school through tomorrow, so I cannot wait till that gets picked up and I get to leave and take a vacation.
A working vacation?
A working vacation, but it's still going to be so much fun. So I'll be probably posting a lot on Instagram as I'm there. Halloween Craft All the Things. So the Halloween Craft All the Things ended.
Mm-hmm.
And we had a ton of entries. It was, let me see. I don't know what forums you have
Top
stuff
left.
under.
As soon as it comes up. Just
All the way over?
no, it's right there. Just click on the TheKnitGirlls because you closed it and it's been more than 3 days. It's not under.
Oh, I gotta, yeah. Y'all are chatty, that's what that is. Oh, I'm so used to my MacBook, like I just took 2 fingers to swipe. So we have the screen really small so that we can see 417 different entries. Really 416 if you don't count mine, which you shouldn't, although it does have Pearl in an alligator costume.
So there's that.
There is that. So let's start drawing for some prizes. Let me get out my phone and we'll do random.org. Okay.
Oh. What is that? That's a paintbrush. Alright.
I had something on my floor the other day and I was like, what is that? And Pearl had stolen the spatula out of the sink. And I was like, how did you even get this?
Sounds about right. So what are we drawing for first?
2 through 417, right?
Mm-hmm.
Let's draw for the super cool stitch markers first.
From Lola something?
This is from Lady Juju.
Lady Juju, sorry. So these are going to number
280.
which will be on the 8, 9, 10, 11 page, I think. Yeah. 280.
Oh man, there's so much good food in this thread.
Yeah, I need to go through and like gift patterns to people that... Oh, nope, it's not on 280, it's on... Or not on 11, it's on 12.
12.
280 is Little Hip Kitty.
Aw, Jess.
She made a fall hat. It turned out too big for her, so it's going to her husband.
Aw.
So that's cool. So Jess, we actually know her. She's been to SSK, I think, once, and she was at SKP. So congratulations, Little Hip Kitty. For anybody that wins, send me a PM on Ravelry.
With what you won as well.
Yes, please tell me what you won. And we will get this out to you as soon as possible.
And then we have Knit Style Yarns, trendy mini skeins, and some great Halloween colors.
Yes.
And those are going to go to 411.
Oh, sweet. Last page. If I can get down there. 411. That is going to be Knitter Chow. New socks. It looks like they were trekking or opal or something like that.
Yeah, for fall foliage travels.
Yeah.
Perfect.
Awesome. So Knitter Chow, please send me a PM. You don't call me less on Ravelry and tell me that you won the mini skein pack.
And then we have Knit Style Yarns, the yarn and project bag, and those are going to $3.91.
Okay, that's one page back from where
I'm gonna
I am.
just put stuff behind you.
Awesome. So when I sit back, it'll fall.
It won't fall. You'll just...
$3.91 is Scrap Fair.
Oh, we know her too.
Yep. So she's got some really cool stripy socks and with some gray heels and toes. And again, I'm sorry I can't show you this. I fought with it for like half an hour. We're going to have to end up buying some different software.
We have Knit Spin Farm. This is a superwash Targi in the...
Dusk or something? Yeah.
Yeah, dusk colorway, and that's going to go to $274.
$274.
And if you don't spin, just let us know, and we'll spin it for you.
Oh.
We can take care of that.
This is going to SOE Dragon, who made apple cider donuts.
Yes! And beer pretzels with bear cheese dip.
Beer cheese dip. What the fuck is beer cheese? Or bear cheese?
No.
It's the title of the show, is what it is.
Bear cheese.
I was going to call the episode Hideous for my swatch, but now it's going to be bear cheese. You're welcome if you stuck in there long enough to find out.
I feel like you could totally make bear cheese.
I feel like there needs to be a bear cheese colorway.
We have some awesome pumpkin spice latte soap from Staycation Yarns. Staycation Soap Company, not yarns. My goodness, 123.
All right, that's going to be on page 5, I think. Bear cheese.
I'm going to Google later and see if there is a...
Here's the chunky hat from Colette Knits that she made while camping.
Cute.
It looks like herringbone or something. It's kind of cool.
Yeah.
So call it knits. Just send me a PM.
And then we have a second one.
So another of the same.
142.
That's on the next page.
Bear cheese.
Don't you dare start Googling now. We got to finish this.
I'm busy.
N.E. Kennedy, October Babies, get all the fun toys. She's got like a pumpkin guy, like a toy.
Yeah.
A
I feel like that's
guy. I think
Patch
it's
from
Susan Claudino.
Yeah.
Okay.
And then we have this awesome soap in the Autumn Stroll.
From Staycation.
Yeah, from Staycation, and that's 178.
That is page 8.
It smells really good.
178.
Oh!
Kay Bowman, 123, who made herself some cool
Those are super
Halloween
cool.
spiderweb earrings with existing hoops. It looks like she crocheted some spiderwebs. That's pretty cool.
And then the last Autumn Stroll is going to 70.
70 is on the third page. And that is
Got fiber up my nose.
a little pumpkin hat
Aww.
for Eniko CS. A little
That's
pumpkin
super
hat.
cute.
That
Oh,
is
she's
super
got an
cute.
18-month-old toddler. Perfect.
I'm gonna have to go through this whole thread and gift some people some patterns.
Yeah, there's some
too.
great stuff in here.
Is that our last prize? Yep. Okay, good. I have prizes behind me, so
Now you can't lean back.
I can't go anywhere.
You're trapped. Bear cheese.
Cheese Louise Bear Cheese. That's a colorway name. Somebody needs to patent
There
that
is totally
right now.
something called bear cheese. Where it just autocorrected to beer cheese.
It's like, I know what you're thinking, dummy. I got it. Don't worry.
It
Don't
autocorrected to
stress.
beer cheese.
You can
Now,
say
there's a bear cheese tart.
it says, did you mean, or did you want to look for bear
No,
cheese?
only look for bear cheese. Look, there's little cheese that's shaped like bear. Look.
But that's why it's called bear, because it's shaped like a bear, not because it's like
cute it
made out
is.
of bear.
I didn't say that it was made out of bear.
Bear cheese.
Bear cheese. It's one of Asia's hottest dessert trends. See, it's a thing.
Uh-huh.
I was just over that curve.
You were ahead of it. It went over something.
There's also a line of Bear Hill cheese.
Yeah. Okay. We've devolved into complete ridiculousness. So you guys have a lovely week, and we will talk to you next week.
Bye, y'all.
Bye, y'all.